petition here that was circulated through the residents with removal of Becky Wolfe from her position as the Rogersville Housing Manager. And in it we have all the signatures with some different comment sections in the back. And in it we have 114 signatures.
Are these all residents?
It's residents and their families is the ones that she has harassed.
The reason we've come before the board today is in our concern for the treatment of the residents in the Rogersville Housing Authority. In my 24 years of living in housing, I was appalled and shocked when I heard from residents and the way they're being treated. People would say to me, well, what is your issue? Myself, I don't really have an issue, except for the way others are being treated. When family members go to visit residents, grandchildren, children, and flyers are being put on their cars, they're going to be towed in violation. And then that resident is called and harassed about people being in their home. There's an issue with that. We're people. But we are concerned with the continuous harassment, the language that has been used by someone in a professional manner to people. And these people are here today as an example that they're tired of that. They're tired of being treated because they're poor. I'm in that boat. I understand. We don't have an option. This is our home. We don't go home at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock every day. This is our home. These are our neighbors, our family and friends, and we're subject to this abuse. To go to your mailbox every day and to have to wonder, is there going to be a letter in there for termination of my leave? You know, a phone call. Every time the phone rings, people are afraid to answer the phone, afraid they're going to get a phone call, and being harassed for orders of eviction. And you know, these are the concerns that the people have spoken to me and said that they're tired of that.
Okay, when the board hired me for this position, they hired me to uphold HUD regulations and policies. I understand that 3 out of 5 of our tenants don't like what we do, but we are good stewards of the federal government's money and the regulations. But you all are not, there's 204 apartments in the housing authority. You know, I can't help the fact that we have policies that we gotta do now.
You do. You call, because I mean, everybody in your age is not lying.
Did you tell everybody why you were mad, Linda?
We're not mad.
No, Linda was mad.
Because of this lady right here, what you done to her when her husband died. I'll tell you what I told you before, and if you say I'm lying, I've got a witness right here of what I come and talk to you about.
Oh, yeah, Becky was in here.
That's right. So, this lady right here is because you called her. I heard her scream that her husband died on Saturday. You called her on Monday morning, and you told her.
No, it was 3 o'clock on Monday.
Oh, no, it was not. It was not.
And the reason I called Lisa was because of the vehicle down there. Now, it had been there twice, and we didn't know anybody had died.
Oh, yes, you did. You were notified. Don't even come across that.
No, we didn't know he was dead until she told me.
You know everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should have showed a little compassion. I know that you have rules, that these people have to clean out their apartment. But you could have waited till the services were over.
I wasn't even going to
You gave her a certain amount of time.
No.
You could have waited till the services were over. Show a little compassion. It don't cost nothing.
Okay.
My wife and I have been addressed by Ms. Wolfe as Mr. and you, Missy, never by our names. And I lost my attention. I come down here to explain it to Ms. Wolfe. Ms. Wolfe says, I don't care. I don't care what happened.
My vehicle is parked on a public street. The city, the county, the mayor, and everybody told me it's a public street. Why do I have to have a parking permit to park on a public street?
Yeah.
I ain't got a driveway. I park on a public street.
Yeah.
Then why do you have to know who our visitors are at all times? Everybody that has a home has visitors, and they're not harassed over it. but we are.
And you also told me on the phone I was not supposed to have visitors.
We feel like we're being threatened. We don't have a choice of where we live.
No.
We cannot just pack up in 30 days and move somewhere because we can't afford it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
But you make us feel like we're this tall. The main thing people are saying, Becky, is do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's all, we're just gonna be left alone with these people. They don't want their feelings hurt. Every time you're talking down to them like they're trash.
I have to,
And you talk down to people, baby.
this HUD tells us to treat everybody the same, does it not, Loren?
Well, you don't.
For me, the first time I walked through the door, and I came to her on a professional level to speak to her about a business matter, and she spoke to me. I was mortified by the way that she spoke to me, how unprofessional she spoke, how hateful she was during the process. She never invited me to come in so we could speak in private about the situation. It was out in the open. Anybody could have walked in and heard the information that she was giving. The way that she spoke about the client was horrible. I'd never spoken about anyone in that manner, not as a professional. Every person that signed that petition and every person that I've spoken to or heard stories about is just tired of being disrespected. I felt disrespected as a professional and as a human being with her. Another meeting, she just was physically stood over, and I felt threatened by the way she leaned into this young lady. I can only imagine how she felt, and I spoke to her afterwards, and she felt horrible about it. She felt threatened by her physical presences leaning onto her.
We have all been hurt in one manner or the other. And personally, I'd like to see her out of here, but I don't have any control of that. I have to live here. I didn't know her to live in housing, but I do. And that's something that she put me down for, because I showed her a picture of my home that I lost and my health and everything. I don't care. That's not my problem. I said, that's it. You don't care. She's got a cold heart. That's my personal opinion. She has no emotions for nobody, no sensitivity, and she really has no tact. She's very unprofessional, I think.
If those rules weren't enforced, we would have people living here constantly that weren't. So how fair is it for one person to be paying a full amount of rent because they've reported all their income, and then someone else not reporting that 2 or 3 people are living with them, and they're getting away from paying that extra money? How fair is that? But when it comes to how many nights people are staying, it's not because we're being mean. It's not because we want to have control of your life. HUD expects, if people are living in your home, to report that income. Children? Most of the people, unfortunately, that I'm seeing in here are names that I know, unfortunately, because of letters that have been sent, you know, that are having problems with lease violations and things like that.
On behalf of the board, I want to thank y'all for showing up, and we do take your concerns seriously. Y'all don't tell us any problems, any conflicts, anything like that. We don't know. Half of the board and all the employees, we try to run a good housing authority. We want everybody to be happy, both working here and living here.
I always want to be down here, be left alone and die in the old age. And that's it, people. That's it. I mean, people oughtn't have to, when you get 60, 70-year-olds, be scared. And she's intimidated about most of the elders. That's why they're not here. They signed the petition, but they're not here because she scares them to death.
They're afraid they'll be kicked out.
Yeah, they ain't got nowhere to go. And I don't care.
They can contact one of the board members, you know.
But they're afraid of you, Becky. They're afraid
They
they're going
can contact me.
They're afraid they're going to get their eviction notice and they've got nowhere to go.
If they get an eviction notice, it's because...
Oh, you threatened with eviction for everybody, for everything.
Yeah.
Every other day.
That's the phone call and the threat of eviction.
Like I say, we do take your concerns seriously, and you know everything will be looked at. I hope nobody thought anything was going to happen today, because
No.